I was watching with great interest the results of the French elections, and with Le Pen and Macron, and by the way, I'm not going to do any kind of French accent or pronunciation. I'm not even going to attempt that as much as I would like to. But what's so important and what will invariably happen is that American mainstream media will fail to recognize how important this is and what we can learn from this, and what future politicians, the people running for office, including yours truly, if I were to ever suffer from some huge TIA or some major neurological event where I would think about running for office, I learned a lot from watching this, and this is what you need to know. First, the similarity. Le Pen is Trump, but a little smoother, more lyrical, more, I don't want to say smart, and that's not fair, but she's far more polished in her delivery. But she's Trump. Well, Trump the candidate, Trump the president. Now I don't even know what the hell he is. Nobody does. Trump doesn't even know what he is. But think of this: nationalism. And nationalism, like the word populism, is a word that has been overused. And it's been used almost in a pejorative sense, where it's been used to convey the notion of somebody who's a kind of an Archie Bunker type, who looks to preserve that which would be prototypically considered, conservative. I think that labels are kind of helpful. Just like it's helpful sometimes to know whether a station is, let's say, urban versus country versus AOR. It helps, but there's always the exception. Same thing with nationalism, populism, nativism, which nobody gets to yet. Now, Emmanuel Macron, here is what I love about him. Now, this is what's interesting. First of all, they never gave him, they said, who is he? Why do I love him? Why do I think he's great? Number one, no party. No party. My antennae went up. No party. Number one. Number two, he basically said that he represents a movement, not a party. And number three, by virtue of not being beholden to a party with, these ossified, odious, concretized parts to it, you can craft your own particular message. I was watching a lot of local coverage on France 24 and others, and hearing just what you would think would be the kind of people that represent most rational and important demographics of a country. Young and middle class and old and business and like-minded and fair and security minded and that sort of thing, and not globalist per se. France is a little bit different. We'll get to that in a moment. But it made me, it emphasized and re-emphasized and basically verified everything that I've been saying for the longest time. Start off with what you want to accomplish and forget about the parties. Now, in our country, that ain't going to happen because of the stranglehold that the parties have. And the stranglehold that the parties have in terms of what's not even really the party, because the parties are so protean. The Republicans today aren't the Republicans of yore, and vice versa. Okay. But here's what I love about this. Number one, what Le Pen said. Now, this is very good. Don't count her out, but the insiders say it's Macron all the way. He's it. He's being able to. He's galvanizing something new. But here's what Le Pen said, which is interesting, and there really is no analog to this, but it's the notion of, she said basically, the heck with Europe. It's France. Vive la France, not vive l'Europe. What does that mean? Globalism, something that has been talked about for a long time, especially from our good friends like Alex Jones and others. Globalists. Who are these globalist people? Globalism used to have a nice connotation to it. Globalism is the concept. This is the negative version of it, that takes individuality of a country let's say France, the United States, and destroys it, and then repositions the country in terms of a union, the European Union. In our case, it will be the North American Union. We're not there yet, but remember, the EU was a beta test. That is a laboratory experiment to see how this works. This is what the globalist, real ruling class of the world have been wanting to do since the end of World War I, since Bretton Woods, since the end of World War II. They are scripted in 15 to 25-year increments. Okay, and globalization, whereas to destroy individual jurisdiction, destroy individual currency, destroy individual identity, and merge it